Hey guys, Zack here, and welcome back to another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Jurassic World Attack Pack Alioramus. Now, once again, we have Mattel giving us a brand new species, one that we haven't seen in figure form in the franchise, or in movie form, or whatever. Though, I have heard this dinosaur's name brought up, quite a lot in, a lot of the lore. I remember hearing a rumor that said, this dinosaur was supposed to be in Camp Cretaceous. It wasn't, but yeah, so this dinosaur's name has been brought up a couple times, which I find interesting, but I digress. So, yeah, I don't really have a lot to say, so let's just get right into this. So, first, we'll take a look at the paint, and the painting on this figure is pretty typical. That's not to say it's bad, but for an Attack Pack figure, it's what you would expect. Most of the body here is a brownish color, which does look nice, and for the back here, we do have some red patterns, which, again, look nice, but they usually end about there at the tail, which is to be expected. Again, the toenails and fingernails are not painted, which, again, is pretty annoying, but, Mattel, they don't really paint these parts, so, it's to be expected. The underside of the figure, we have a creamish whitish color, which does look nice. The teeth are painted a yellowish whitish color, which looks nice, and of course the inside of the mouth, for the most part, like the tongue there, and the membranes on the side here, they are painted pink, and the roof of the mouth is not painted. So, at the face here, we have a bit of red, but there's actually a bit of a glossy finish to it, and I actually really like that. It kind of reminds me of the Gorgosaurus from Walking with Dinosaurs, and I kind of wish, we got this throughout the figure, all the red here, all the red here could be, shiny as well. Not for, the red here, because, these are feathers, so, it wouldn't make sense for them to shine. But, the rest of the scales, I feel like that would look really nice. But, anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. The eyes are painted yellow with black pupils, and they're actually painted very cleanly. There's no, mishaps of, the eyes being misplaced as far as paint goes. Excuse me, I'm still waking up. But, yeah, no, the eyes are actually painted fairly nicely, so I do like that. And lastly, the horns here are painted a bonish whitish color, or the same color as the underside of the neck here. So yeah, it looks nice. It would have been nice if they finished it more, if my camera can focus. Or it's not really an issue on this side, but on this side they don't really the paint doesn't really go through all the way. It would have been nice if it did, but honestly, it is not the end of the world. So yeah. Anyway, oh, almost forgot. Underneath the feet, we have the scan code and the Jurassic World logo. And that's pretty much it for the painting on this figure. The painting on this figure, it's average. I like the reds and the browns, but for the most part, for a Mattel figure, it's average. There are some spots where they didn't paint, but average. So yeah, painting on this figure, average, but it's still good. So the painting on this figure, I'd say gets a pass. Now we'll take a look at the articulation, and the articulation on this figure is actually pretty good. It's not perfect, but for an Attack Pack figure, it's actually, not terrible. So let's take a closer look. So at the base of the tail here, there is a swivel, which a lot of the Attack Pack figures have, but the legs can move backwards that much, and forwards this much. The arms can move 360. So there's that. The head, or the base of the neck I should say, can look up about that much and down about that much, which looks a little weird. We do have a bit of this weird bit going on, but I can live with that. And of course we do have a hinge at the jaw, so it can open its mouth pretty wide. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the articulation. Again, not a whole lot, but for what it is, it's actually, very good. So I do like that a lot. So the articulation on this figure is good, so I'd say it gets a pass. Now we'll take a look at the sculpt, and the sculpting on this figure, again, I really do like. There are some things that I should point out, though. First of all, the arms here are actually, positioned correctly, because usually, just because I have this figure next to me, the Attack Pack Proceratosaurus, we can see that, like, the wrists are, like, sort of, like, facing forwards, and they just sort of, like, bend like that. Dinosaurs never had that. More specifically, like, you know, the theropod dinosaurs. They, like, their hands were more in, like, a clapping position. So, like, it's cool that they actually, you know, included this into the design. Again, like, I think the hands themselves are ridiculously big, but other than that, like, again, it's cool that they actually, you know, took that step and just, like, corrected the wrists. So, that I really like. The tail, I'm not gonna lie, is a little too short, but I'm not too offended by that. Mainly because, I don't know why, but this figure reminds me of Fang from Genndy Tartakovsky's Primal. So if you were to, like, you know, I know there are plenty of people online who do, like, customs, like, you might have to, like, adjust the sculpting for, like, the head, but I feel like you could make, like, a really cool, custom Fang figure out of this, so I'm not really offended by the short tail here. Normally I would, and to be fair, it does look a little weird, but yeah, if it was longer it would have been nice, but to be honest, I am not offended by this short tail. So, yeah. And another thing I really like, they actually added feathers on the back of the head, which, not gonna lie, is a really nice touch. They didn't have to do that, but they did, and I really do like that, so, yeah. Anyway, that is it for the sculpting on this figure, and the sculpting on this figure is really good, you know, for what it is, of course. It's not perfect, but again, like, you know, for what it is, I really do like it, you know, how they adjusted the wrists, you know, everything. The sculpting, it looks nice. So, the sculpting on this figure, I'd say gets a pass. Now we'll take a look at the detailing, and the detailing on this figure, once again, is actually very nice. There is a lot of detail here, so let's take a closer look. So going to the head, we can see all of the little cracks and scales in the skin there, which looks really nice. And like the scales like next to the eye here, they look really good too, very well defined. And even in the bottom jaw here, a lot of really nice detailing. We have some musculature and creasings in the neck, which does look nice. And even the feathers here, they are detailed pretty nicely as well. The detailing for the arms look very nice, all these scales, and I feel like there's a little too much musculature, but that could be more so for the sculpting. If the arms are smaller, and by smaller I mean like, I don't know, the arms, like, they look a little wonky, but the detailing and sculpting here, it's still fine. Of course, we have a bit of the rib cage on the side here with a little bit of shrink wrapping, but whatever. I know people get upset by that, but for Jurassic Park, I don't really care, but yeah, again, more scaling throughout. Everything here looks very nicely defined. All the detailings, you know, all the musculature in the legs look great, and all the scaling in the feet here, very nicely defined. I do like that a lot. And going to the tail here, we have a lot of scaling, musculature, and everything, and yeah, everything here just looks really good. And that's it for the detailing on this figure, and the detailing on this figure is very nice, so the detailing here, I'd say gets a pass. So, at the end of the day, should you get this? Honestly, yeah, this is not a bad figure at all. Like I said, for any, like, I know there are a lot of people online, like, Ted Brothers, they do, like, they do, like, custom, you know, figures, or not custom figures, but they customize figures. I can imagine someone making, like, Fang out of this figure from Primal. So, I know I bring up that show a lot, but bear with me. It's just a really good show, and you need to watch it. But, yeah, no, not just for, like, customizability, but overall, this is just a pretty good figure, you know? It's not the best thing ever, but for what it is, I really like it. So, this figure, definitely get it if you can. I got it at Target for about, like, $8. It's not expensive at all, so, again, I'd say definitely go for it. And if you want to know how big it is, here it is next to another Tyrannosaurid with the Attack Pack Proceratosaurus, and they are exactly the same size. And because I don't have the Battle Damage Albertosaurus or the Tarbosaurus, I don't know what that figure's exact name is, I'm just going to skip right to the T-Rex. We have the Epic Roaring T-Rex that came out this summer, and that's how they scale. Alright, and of course, last but not least, here it is next to Dr. Billy Grant. I feel like the the Alioramus, I feel like should be a little taller, maybe like there, maybe, but either way, the scaling here isn't terrible, so, yeah. Anyway, that is it for today. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, Zack out.